Now I have very great pleasure in introducing Craig Parker. Now, I looked up Craig's name in one of those baby books, you know, where they list the meanings of names, and apparently Parker means manly, handsome and virile, and Craig means very. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the winner of No Idea Magazine's 1998 Spunk of the Year, Craig Parker.
Prime Ministers past and present, ladies and gentlemen, we do not live in the greatest little country in the world. Now, ours is not an easy task. Being the bearer of bad news is sometimes fatal and often difficult. But we shall not shirk from our responsibility. We shall remove the rose-tinted glasses and look on our battered land in the harsh, ozone and asset-stripped glare of truth. We shall show that this once great country sadly is great no more. We shall hold up the glass and speak of what we see, not to cry doom, but in the hope that from our past we may learn the way to a future where we may be great once more. Let me tell you a story. It all began in a small South Pacific island of Fiji. I was born on a steamy tropical afternoon, tepid waters lapping on white sand beaches, sheltered beneath a layer of ozone and colonial promiscuity. The days, not so much halcyon, more Prozac and gin. Our parents played with each other's spouses, and we played the games of carefree innocence and early development in a hot climate. These were happy days. An Eden where the word coo was still pronounced sounding the P, and used for keeping chickens. Viagra was a great waterfall on the Canadian border, and Jenny Shipley was still assistant kindergarten teacher in Ashburton, wiping the backsides of preschoolers, rather than kissing that same area of the Round Table Boys. Fiji, like this great country, a tiny gem set in the Pacific. We were little, but we were great, and we had all over tans. As perfect as these glittering islands were, my parents' hearts always returned to their homeland, the then greatest little country in the world, New Zealand. And so it was, we packed our belongings and travelled across the Pacific. Now, in a decision I could only put down to sunstroke and too many gins on the flight over, my parents decided to settle in Glenfield. Destiny, she moves in mysterious ways. For there it was, in Glenfield, that I met my great life teacher, my mentor, my wise woman, Rachel Hunter. Our first day of school, we were streamed. Rachel and I settled happily into class, 3F, remedial woodwork. I working on my spice rack, Rachel trying to work out what a ruler did. But I remember one day in particular, when our teacher, Mr. Langley, an hirsute man only recently returned from Vietnam, held up his hand for silence, all 2.5 fingers extended. His eye fixed us, the other one wandered a bit to the left. Barker, Hunter, yous don't know how lucky you are. Yous live in the greatest little country in the world, but it's all going down the gurgler if you don't pay attention. Well, I was confused. If ever I needed the wisdom of my mentor, it was now. I looked over at Rachel. She was humming, "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" while using the ruler to backcomb her hair. There was a curious glint in her eye. I'd never seen it before. It was almost as if she was thinking. How ridiculous, I thought. Of course, this country would always be great, and we too would never have to pay for anything. After all, we were pretty. Years passed, and eventually, fourth form came to an end. I kissed her on her CoverGirl perfect Pantene-crowned forehead, tucked the spice rack under my arm, and set off to become the most important actor of my generation. I was a star. No, goddammit, I was a supernova. My greatness burned like Ruatoria on a Saturday night. My photo above the beds of countless teenage girls and the odd gladiator movie-loving boy. I was the waters at Lourdes, and how the faithful came to take me, standing before me, moist and dripping. I had the earning power of John Hawkesby and the pulling power of Dover Samuels. I was a new King Arthur for a modern-day Camelot. But every king needs his queen, and at my side there could be no other. The paragon of New Zealand's beauty and womanhood, the brightest jewel in our Pacific crown, Rachel. Guinevere to our Camelot. And we were Camelot resplendent. We truly lived in the greatest little country in the world. In our nuclear-free, quarter-acre pavlova paradise, we ate our trumpets, rejoiced in our shining kingdom, and believed our nation great for all eternity. But while we blindly gloried in our greatness, dark forces of hubris were stirring, and evil figures brokered a deal that would change our lives forever. Rachel, our nation's treasure, our tongue, our Guinevere, was secretly privatized and sold into servitude to help an aging foreign millionaire through the last years of his life and a good deal of his cash. Queenless, this great little country of ours began to crumble. We stumbled and fell. We lost our way. We thought big when we should have just thought. Claiming it would help us all, the Knights of the Round Table held a garage sale. But instead of selling old junk, they sold the garage. Along with the palace it was attached to, the horses, the grounds, and a few of the staff. And so, from these sunset beaches, went the young and the restless, the bold and the beautiful. They left their home, and away they went. Neighbors no more, and with their passing, so were the days of our lives changed forever. In this, as with all things, our Rachel had led the way. So much of what had made this little nation great now belonged to nations so much greater than us. Our bitter pill of pride was swallowed, a nation Xenocal, and we watched our greatness drip away, leaving only the mysterious stains of former glory. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. Thank you.